We're going to talk about self-myofascial release and foam rolling today. So if you have a foam roller or a massage ball, what you can do is use this device to perform a self-massage. Okay, we call it self-myofascial release, which if you're talking in science terms, what we're trying to do is stimulate the Golgi tendon organ, which is typically going to be the proximal point between the muscle and tendon. So for example, if I'm looking at the bicep, I'd go up here, go to the muscle where the muscle meets the tendon. I can also do that on the distal end as well. And then also I might find adhesions in the middle of that muscle. I can do that for any of my muscles: quads, adductors, glutes, lower back, shoulders, lats, anything. I'm going to talk about why we do this. One, we do this because it helps the muscle relax, which can help us increase range of motion, which can help us get into better movement patterns. And over time, this can help solidify those movement patterns and movement expressions to help us perform better, train safely, and also to decrease injuries in the future. So it's not something that we do once and get a major effect from. We actually get minimal effects by doing it once. Obviously, this is something that has to be consistent and repetitive and progressive over time. Otherwise, you won't get any effect, just like any other training stimulus. So when we use this foam roller or massage ball, what we're trying to do is engage in a test of muscle quality and tissue density. And when we do that, we're able to find out what muscles might be a little bit tighter, what may feel a little bit weaker or looser, whatever your take is on it. So I'll go around each muscle of the body before I work out, and I'll do this before each workout, and I can also do this in my off days. It's really important that you do it each and every day because it helps you explore the muscle tissue itself. It also is a physical workout to get into some of the positions, so it does get you moving a little bit more than just sitting. So if you don't want to stretch, but you do want to focus on muscle tissue quality, tissue density, and to help hopefully create some long-term adaptations, then your self-myofascial release is a great benefit. Okay, so we're going to start with the glutes. If you're foam rolling, you're going to sit on the foam roller. You're going to cross one leg over. The leg that we're crossing over, we're going to get that hip or that glute. We're going to angle our hip into the roller as we roll back and forth. And about 5 to 10 rolls. And what we're doing is we're kind of looking for some areas. So I might lean into more of my tailbone area, or I might move more on the outside of that hip, okay? I could go right into the middle, find a sweet midpoint, whatever it takes. Sometimes I'll just keep my knees stacked and feet stacked, same thing. You can also straighten the leg a little bit and get more of the glute max, okay? So doing both sides. If you feel tightness in one side more than the other, and you want to spend more time there, it's always definitely recommended. Or if you do have issues with muscle density or muscle tissue quality, then you might want to spend some more time there. There's other ways you can roll besides just going up and down. You can just sit on the muscle and hold and just try to relax, and then maybe even contract the same muscle that is there. So that's another form of foam rolling. Again, you can straighten the knee or leg when you do that. The next muscle I'm gonna get is the lower back. Okay, if you have sensitive ribs, you might want to steer clear from this one, or just work on one side just like I am here at a time. You can also do both lumbar sides at the same time by extending the arms and getting the lower back. Okay, I can also just kind of bring my butt down and hold and go side to side here, and just trying to stay away from any pain or any movements directly on the spine. If you feel like your spine's digging into it, you might just need to do one side at a time. For the upper back, we're going to bring the elbows together. We're going to extend the back by trying to get the hips up, and then hips go down as we flex the back. And that's going to allow us to get in between our scapula, or getting those rhomboid muscles. By bringing those elbows together, it helps open up the scapulas into an outward rotation. And then from here, I like to get the lats themselves. Okay, kind of drape my arm over the foam roller. I get right in the armpit first, and then I go side to side to start. Get that muscle across the chest and also the lats. Then I can get more of the lat on there, bring my hands together, rock side to side, up and through that arm and the lats. And then again, just maybe either going side to side, finding a soft, sensitive area or a hardened area, and then kind of work your way in that area. And I like to go a little bit higher. I like to get into the tricep, and I like to also do a little external rotation of the shoulder, which helps me get my posterior deltoid and also those rotator cuff muscles there that connect into the shoulder. Getting the other side. Again, getting my lats, my posterior deltoid, tricep, pectoris, major, minor, serratus anterior, all these muscles, rotator cuff muscles, kind of just pressing in there. If I feel a sensitive area or just an area that just feels kind of good, or just, you know, feels like it needs to be pushed into, I might just work that area a little bit more. I like to externally rotate my shoulder by bending my elbow, trying to get the back of the hand on the ground as I roll up and down, trying to get the posterior deltoid that way. And then just kind of maneuvering the roller really up and down across the chest into areas that kind of feel like may need a little touch, okay, or pressure. All right, so that would be my shoulder complex. Again, focusing on one side more than the other if you need to. I'm gonna go to my calves next. Calves, you can do one or two at a time. You can cross over and just go side to side, or you can bring the glutes off the ground and go up and down. You can go on the outer edge of the leg, getting those peroneal muscles, and then switching. If it's too much pressure, bring the glutes down on the ground. Sometimes you'll feel it more near the ankle, right in the middle, or right in the meat of the gastroc, which would be right there. And then obviously, then trying to get the outer leg as well. Okay, from here we're gonna get the adductors, starting with the closest portion to the knee, getting the vastus medius as well. I can externally and internally rotate my hip while I'm here, or I can roll from the knee to the quad. And then I might go mid-quad or mid-thigh, and then really close to the pubic bone. And then trying to abduct that leg, maybe even extending the knee as I'm doing that. I can even turn into an internal hip rotation to get different areas of that quad and adductors. I'm gonna switch side. Remember, you want to abduct the leg here about 90 degrees. Get into hip flexion. Just rolling from knee all the way to hip. Going for middle thigh toward the knee, then also toward the hip. Sometimes you have to be strategic on how you maneuver your hip. Sometimes I'm doing a lot of internal and external rotation of that hip while I'm rolling. Sometimes I will extend my knee. Sometimes I keep my knee bent. Depends on where I'm at. And if I find an area that's really sensitive, I might just hold and just kind of hang around there, breathe into that, and then move on to the next position. Okay. Now we're gonna get into the quads. You can get the quads 2 at the same time, or you can go one at a time. If you don't feel anything with 2 at a time, then just push the roller up to the side and go for 1 at a time, going from knee to hip. Again, you can pivot the body here. So you can go on the quad laterally, anteriorly, or on the front, and medially as well when you're in this front plank position. Switching side. Going from knee. If I feel maybe some more stiffness, I might just hold there, relax. If I have a lot of knee pain, I might spend more time on this area of my body when I'm rolling. A lot of times these muscles get tightened the most because they're trying to protect our knee. So that's why it's really important also to take care of those muscles that get overstimulated. Okay? Because overstimulation leads to catabolic activity, meaning that the muscle will actually break down because it's not going to repair if it's getting overworked. All right, so I think we got the calves, the quads, the adductors. You can also get the TFL, or the muscles next to the pockets. Okay, those help abduct the leg, and you can also get the glute medius, which is upper and outer. So I'll show you how to do that. So for the TFL, Tensor Fasciae Latae, we're aiming for that pocket. I'm gonna turn my hip into that area, and it's gonna be a very small muscle, and you might not feel it at first, but once you find it, you'll know it's there. It's right next to the pocket. It's got a weird feeling to it. And then the glute med, I go for the upper butt on the outside of it. And then you're gonna get just the side of that glute med. You're not gonna really be able to get deep down into it, but this is the best area to get that glute med. And then switching side, again, working on the TFL, the Tensor Fasciae Latae. I have to maneuver my body just right. Sometimes I relax both knees to the ground. Sometimes I have the knees off the ground, depending on how much pressure I want to put into that muscle next to the pocket. Call it TFL. Again, just kind of, if it is sensitive, I might hang out here a little bit longer. And then going toward that glute med, which is on the upper outer side of the hip. The best angle to do that is kind of getting in that side plank position. with the top leg pressing into the ground with the knee bent. All right, so that would be all the foam rolling I might do. Only thing we missed was the hamstrings, which when the knee is extended, it's really hard to relax that muscle. So we actually want to maybe sit on a bench and use more of a massage ball or lacrosse ball. So let me see if I can find it. Oh, it's over here. So if I were to use the hamstrings, this ball might be better than the foam roller. Oh yeah, I'm definitely feeling it like that. Okay, again, you can do this sitting on a bench or a box with your knee bent. Okay, you can also roll into it yourself with a ball, but you're not going to get as much pressure as this. Okay, so I might do that and maybe hold an area that feels, you know, maybe a little bit more tense. Maybe going toward, like I said, where the glute meets the hamstring, and the belly of the hamstring, and then maybe where the hamstring and knee meet. Okay, so that would be foam rolling 101. Again, you do this before your workouts and also on your off days to help create better muscle tissue quality, and it also assesses your muscle tissue quality if nothing else, and it also helps improve range of motion over long periods of time if you you know, really work those areas and then also perform follow-up stretches and strength training. So you're not going to get long-term results unless you're actually following up with stretching, dynamic stretching, you know, core exercises, and then also functional strength exercises that kind of solidify all those tissues that are being moved. So 5-10 minute foam rolling twice a week with your strength and conditioning isn't that hard to fit in, and repetitively over time you should have long-term adaptations. If nothing else, you are assessing the muscle tissue quality, and you're also helping yourself by adding external loads in specific tissues that you need, you know, that is particular to you. So if you have shoulder issues, then working on your shoulders, and if you have hip issues, working on your hips. All right, everyone, hope you like that.